All right, here's a quick lesson for you. A quick, especially if you struggle with going after what you want and you're so busy leading company, employees, leading a team, and you're finding it hard to make time for yourself for creating the body, the health that you want. Now, this is what I found to be the key thing that holds most CEOs, entrepreneurs, leaders, executives back. I'm going to share with you what's going on. This is where you are, okay? This is you. And what's been happening is that you are basing your life on your past. Meaning, let's say you're struggling with your body, okay? Maybe you have been shamed by an ex-partner, by people around you for your weight, for how you look. What happens is you keep this message locked and loaded inside of you. And then what happens is also, let's say you got shamed by X or someone in your past. And let's say your relationship with a lot of times, right, I've noticed this, your father, you don't have the best relationship with your dad. Maybe your dad was an alcoholic, maybe your dad was very critical of you, maybe your dad was not accepting of your sexuality, maybe your dad was very hard-shelled and never really embraced you with emotions, with your feelings. What happens, right, then you also carry that with you too. Then you start to work really, really hard. You work really, really hard in your career in order to prove yourself. And a lot of times what I found is there's this desire to prove to your caregivers, usually your father, not always the case, but you're proving to yourself that you are worthy. You don't want to be like your dad. You don't want to be like him. And you work really, really hard. And you get so far, right? Maybe you become a CEO, an entrepreneur, an executive. It takes a lot of time commitment to get to where you are. But what happens is because you've been you're running your legs on this hamster wheel, you're constantly feeling like you're trying to force things. But what's truly lacking is approval from within. So you're lacking the approval from the inside. But what happens then is you're constantly trying to please these people. Maybe the exes, maybe it's the gay community, certain people that didn't like you enough. It's your dad, maybe. You're trying to gain his approval, but what happens because you've been shamed so much, you believe it is not possible for you to change your body. You feel like that 20, 30, 40, however many pounds, the love handles, you feel like it's not possible for you to change. But you also feel like if you just change that, maybe you're going to gain the approval of your ex, maybe you're going to gain the approval of the gay community, of the people around. Now I'm going to offer you something very different, a different perspective, okay? Instead of always turning to work, to fill their heart, maybe you turn to alcohol or food, substances to fill that void in your heart. I'm going to give you a different perspective that's going to solve things. We start to develop this. We help you nurture a whole new relationship with yourself where you love yourself, you see yourself, you understand yourself. When you operate from the space, what you're going to find is you're going to make more time for yourself for exercise. You're going to make more time for yourself to put healthy foods inside your body. You're going to make more time for yourself for loving yourself, doing the things that you love. you're going to make more time for yourself. Instead of always just working or using food or alcohol or even drugs, substances, using these things, right, work, all these things to fill that void, we start to develop this approval from within. Now, the thing with approval from within, the only way to develop this is a few things. You need to learn how to create space for yourself. You need to learn how to hold yourself with space. It's a very tricky thing to do if you never grew up with this. If your whole life was being criticized, if your whole life was being shamed, if your whole life was being told that you were wrong, you weren't enough, if your whole life was not having the space for you to feel your feelings, to cry, to get angry, to feel everything you weren't allowed to feel, if any of those things are true, then it's going to be challenging for you to hold the space. But it is possible. It's one of the things we address here. First, foremost, create space for yourself. Secondly, approval. So finding words of affirmation, of love, of praise for yourself. Not seeking it from your partner, not seeking from your ex, not seeking from the gay community, not seeking from your boss, not seeking from your clients, from your customers, but from within. When you develop this sense of validation and trust with yourself, that approval, watch your life change. All of these issues will be solved. Thirdly, the most other important thing is follow through. So being a man, woman, person of your word and doing the things that you say you're going to do. Do the things even when it's hard, do the things when it's challenging, and show up for yourself. Going to the gym in the morning when you don't feel like it. Choosing the healthy option when you don't feel like it. Following through. When you develop the ability to hold space for yourself, you can give yourself words of affirmation of love, hold yourself in a beautiful space and love yourself, give that words of approval for yourself. And thirdly, you follow through so you don't continuously break promises towards yourself like anyone from the outside have broken promises with you. You keep your word with yourself. You do those things. Approval from within. Everything will change. Your confidence will soar. You're going to do better at work. You're going to pursue higher opportunities. You will lead from a higher capacity. And your relationship, by the way, with the people around you will improve because you're holding yourself at a higher regard. You're valuing yourself differently. And lastly, your physical body, that will change. You will shed the body fat. You will gain the muscular definition if that's what you want. You will have more energy, more vitality. Physically, you're going to think very differently. You can feel very differently. But what is important, what has truly been missing for you is this. Stop looking for the next diet plan. Stop looking for the next workout to try and fix things. Stop looking for the next quick fix, some medication, some pill to try and fix everything. That will never solve this challenge. The only way to solve this challenge is within here. And this is one of the deeper things that we do in the Daring Academy, is help you truly build that connection with yourself, to take yourself to a level you've never seen before. And the body transformation is awesome. You will gain more respect wherever you go because you respect yourself differently. You're going to carry yourself differently on dates, and the right people will be more attracted to you because you're finally loving yourself at a different level. And your work will improve. But you can only do this if you do the inner work. You can't do this by continuously looking out on the outside for the next quick fix. You have to look within.